Okay, round three, the finals. We've got the choice. Definitely playing first. And let's see, we got green, blue, black. That is very satisfactory. Okay, let's start her off with I guess a black source. Not in any rush to get our island just yet. And I would like to deck thin, I guess, to up our chances of finding a white source. All right, let's, well, I guess we're going for the Highland game now, so we'll do that instead. Sets us up for a better Mardu Skull Hunter the following turn. Blue-white. All right. So, likely Jeskai. Sandstep Citadel is an excellent draw, so now we have all of our colors, and we're on track to have a very nice turn progression. Okay, very nice. So the question now is, depending on what he does, do we want to play Raider Spoils or a Merrick Nightblade? I feel like we're likely doing Raider Spoils, because that is going to strongly motivate him to block our Skull Hunter. But I'm not exactly sure, I guess. I'm not entirely convinced I have to. Let's drop the Polluted Delta first. Let's get our blue source. Just make sure we get that out of the way, do some more deck thinning. Okay, so now we can do Raider Spoils, which once again is going to strongly motivate him to block Skull Hunter. Or I could play a Merrick Nightblade or Longshot Squad, which would basically progress our board, but I kind of get the feeling like he's going to block this turn anyway, which would make just attacking. If I play the Raider Spoils, I feel like it's almost 100% he blocks with that morph on our Skull Hunter. If I just attack, I still feel like he's likely to block because we're kind of getting the jump on him a little bit. I mean, I don't mind trading my Skull Hunter for the morph. It's not even basically, it's straight up a 2-for-1 at that point. I made him discard, destroy a creature. I guess that is the best play. We'll do that. I feel like that's about as strong as incentive to block a Skull Hunter as you can possibly get with the Raider Spoils here. He really does not want me drawing cards here. Okay. I do still kind of feel like he was going to do that block anyway, but taking out his morph is of course beneficial. Okay. Get some life gain out of it, which is certainly good for him. So that worked out better for him than I would have liked, but we've already done the investment of the Raider Spoils, so all future creatures are going to get the bonus. We have a 3-power attacker that I certainly don't mind dying. I think we're going to drop the Nightblade first here. Guess the Longshot Squad attacks better. Well, now I'm a little more incentivized to do Abzan Guide since it's a warrior. It doesn't make the best use of the mana, but I still think I'm going to do it. I could hold out until I can hardcast it, but I think it actually makes more sense to... Oh, okay. I'm fine with this. Oh, okay, Flock. Um, now I'm much more strongly motivated to do the Abzan Guide, since this will have 5 power when it unmorphs. Okay. So play our land, we'll swing with the team, see how he blocks. This is going to work really well for us. So we gain life, deal damage to him. All very good things. He can smite this, but we still have some good follow-up plays, so we're in no immediate danger. This is a warrior, so he really does have to do something about this Abzan guide. It's really controlling all aspects of the game currently, gaining us life, potentially drawing us cards, being a big threat. He has to come up with a solution very quickly, or the guide alone is going to take over the game. He's also missing his land drop, so could be another Sage Eye Harrier, but I'm not going to play as though it is because I'm just not that concerned about it. So let's just go ahead and swing. That Mandrills was actually just a really powerful draw. Let's see if we get in. Okay. Let's see if it is a Sage Eye Harrier. Actually is. Multiple Sage Eye Harriers I was not expecting, but it's actually okay since we're dealing damage to him. We're drawing a card. We're going to play our land. Now we can actually drop Hooting Mandrills plus a 4-drop. I'm not going to play around in hostilities again. That does typically come back and bite me, but I just don't feel comfortable playing around rares still to this day. So we'll delve away 3 things, get a Mandrills, and then we'll follow up with a long shot squad, mostly because it's more damage, and Merrick Nightblade is still very good after a end hostility. Okay, concession. So that indicates to me that he does not have end hostilities in his deck. I guess that's not necessarily true. It could be he didn't have the white source or the end hostilities in hand, in which case it wouldn't matter if he drew one or the other. But okay, so all we saw was that our opponent is blue-white. That still is pretty indicative of a Jeskai deck, since there are no other friendly color, 3-color decks that you can do with blue-white in Khans. So any sideboard, well, multiple Sage Eye Harriers, I kind of feel good about that, because Sage Eye Harrier, though certainly playable, is not a very good card. He does seem to be very flying intensive. Every single card he played is a flyer. So that would tell me if I had a Windstorm, I should sideboard it in, but I do not have a Windstorm. I could bring in the 3rd Awaken the Bear because he seems pretty defensive, and Awaken the Bear is going to do an excellent job of breaking through that. But I don't know what I'd want to drop for that. I still like our Abzan banner to help us get that white, because we only have a couple ways to get white in this deck. So, I think we just try it again, see how we do. Okay, so we have a white and a green source. Slightly dangerous hand. The fact that we have a Loxodon is motivating me to keep it a little bit. We're on the draw. We do have quite a few black spells with no black source, which could be a problem. But being on the draw, at least I think we're on the draw. Someone told me there's some way to tell, but I still don't know what that is other than just looking. Okay, he's just going to play first. So I think I am going to keep this. A bit dangerous, of course, but if we can find a black source, this hand's pretty good. All right. Land is also acceptable since we're in Woolly Loxodon morph range now. All right. Still acceptable. Land drops are at least moving us towards unmorphing Loxodon and casting incremental growth. I think I'm just going to F6. I'll show my opponent I don't have a 2-mana spell here. Alright, Wind Scout. So he seems to be the all-flyers deck where Windstorm would be pretty brutal against him, but... oh, that's weird. Not having the Windstorm, it's a little bit of an issue, but it's okay. We're definitely coming to the point where I'm going to have to really find a black source. If we can find one of our 7 black sources, though, this Armament Core and incremental growth are very live. Could be a flock. Alright, another white source, so not exactly what I was looking for, but we'll accept it. So let's swing into that, see if it's a monastery flock. If not, or even if it is a flock, he might just want to trade. Does not want to trade. Alright, so he's on the beatdown plan. I wish we had a follow-up play, but we do not. He is a Just Sky deck, as suspected. So if this is a Weapon Master, we're in pretty big trouble, but still not unhappy with our keep. I'm just more unhappy with our draws, I guess. Alright, no unmorph. Okay. So Whirlwind Adept would typically tell me that our opponent is... Yeesh. Alright, well, I don't think we're going to be able to win this game anymore. That was probably the... I think that one might be the nail in the coffin, unfortunately. So, cracking back for at least 8, which is definitely more damage than I can afford to take. Another problem being I can't unmorph my Loxodon until next turn. I don't anticipate a good avenue of winning this game anymore. I certainly can't afford to take 8, but I think we just allow ourselves to die pretty much. I guess my best option is leaving this guy back, faking as if I have a good block with the 5 mana. It's not a very good trick since we don't have 3 colors, but I'm not left with a lot of options here. Alright, he didn't attack with the Adept, so at least we've got that going for us. Still buys us potentially another turn to find something, but we need some help pretty desperately here. Waken the Bear. Not exactly the help I was looking for. Okay, Quiet Contemplation. I don't think this card's all that good, but let's see how this goes. All right, well, at the very least we get to eat the Adept, which I guess is good, but certainly not enough to win us this game. Oh, and he had the Force Away? Okay. Why didn't he just Force Away and kill us? Maybe he thought I had Feet of Resistance. Even if I did have Feet of Resistance, why wouldn't he just do that? That's strange. So we're not dead now, but we're going to be dead the next turn. They're at this point is no mode of recovery, but we kind of knew we were dead last turn. So, mana issues, hey, these things happen. I'm playing a 4-color deck. I've been pretty lucky to make the mana base work as well as it has. He also gives us some information in Smite the Monstrous, which is good against our deck. No chance of victory here, so we'll just concede. Okay, so maybe Dreadmaw actually seems like it's a reasonable card in this matchup. If he's beating down from above, having Dreadmaw to sacrifice a guy, gain some life, is probably going to be pretty beneficial. And perhaps, well, I was going to say cut and awaken the bear, but when we're on the aggressive end, I don't really like that idea. I could cut the right of the serpent, but that deals with his flyers. It's a bit challenging. Could cut the banner, but that's going to make us have some difficulties potentially finding a... It kind of helps our mana base, which is in need of help. I don't want to cut Sultai Charm. That kills too many things. Certainly don't want to cut any of these life-gaining things. I guess I'll cut one of my Awaken the Bears for a Dreadmaw. I'm not thrilled about that, especially since we're on the aggressive side now. And Awaken the Bear is just so nice in those situations. But then again, he is running Force Away, which I guess weakens the impact of Awaken the Bear. So let's just have the Dreadmaw for potential life gain capabilities. We'll play first, and, well, basically 6 resources and a Skull Hunter. It's not ideal. I can draw a card off of this. It also potentially ramps us to 5-drop territory. I guess I'll keep it. It's a pretty lousy hand. It's very low on power, but we do have 3 of our 4 different colored resources. We have a 2-drop play. We have a banner that we can ditch if we continue to draw lands to at least draw a card, and our opponent mulligan. So we at least have some rewards for this keep. All right. Land draw is certainly not what I wanted to see, but I cannot say it's unexpected since we're running 18 lands. Okay, Sultai Charm I will take despite the fact we don't have a blue source. At least it's a non-land card. So we'll play the banner here, which is likely getting thrown away next turn. Unless we draw an Armament Core, in which case we're in good shape. Alright, so our opponent is well fixed and has a Morph guy, so we are still looking for live draws here. Alright, Nightblade is certainly a live draw. We'll comfortably take that. Okay. I think he should have left up the blue source so at least he could fake as though he had a Monastery Flock. Now it's pretty strong indication that he does not have a Monastery Flock. Alright, first and foremost, we're going to ditch this Abzan banner since we no longer need its services. And Thornwood Falls gives us a blue source, which is nice. So I think what we're going to do is just play the Thornwood Falls, swing with our Skull Hunter, and outlast because it seems like a good opportunity to outlast. I may have to use the Sultai Charm to draw 2, discard 1, mostly because I'm in need of some action. If he leaves 5 mana back without any attacks, it's also strange that he didn't attack with his morph if he wasn't planning on blocking. Okay, now he's swinging in, so we'll see what he's got. No plays. Interesting. Another land. Still not surprised. Guess we just swing. Okay. So we'll replay our Nightblade. Play a land and then pass. Still winning the race. So far, I'm trying to think if we've seen a morph out of him that... Oh, bringing back Force Away? Okay. Unfortunately, I'm unable to Sultai Charm that, so I think we're in a position where I may have to once again use the Sultai Charm as a... Well, that actually works pretty well. So I guess we'll swing with the team. I can actually... I think we'll Sultai Charm, draw 2, discard a card first. As much as I like creature destruction, I'm on the hunt for actual cards right now, so we'll ditch this. The mode probably least commonly played. Drew some good spells, so we can ditch our white source. Its services are no longer needed. And then we play a land, and we swing with both of our guys. Obviously, we have something. Okay, Waken is really nice here. Leaves our guy alive, kills his warden. He can't force away in response. Takes damage. We have Rite of the Serpent for realistic threats. We have Care of Dreadmaw to gain life at some point if we need it. If we begin to lose the race, we know our opponent has a force away, and we got our opportunity to use Awaken the Bear, so I'm pretty happy about that. Okay. So he does not have a 4th resource to unmorph, which means he's just on the race now. So I can untap my Nightblade. Looks like that won't be necessary, though. I think what we'll do is just... How many resources do I have now? I have 8 resources. So I guess we'll just swing with the Skull Hunter and play the long shot squad. This way, next turn I can... It gives me some better options next turn. If racing becomes a real thing, I can Dreadmaw, sacrifice my Nightblade to draw or gain 3. I can untap Nightblade, attack with everything, which then definitely motivates him to force away one of my guys. Okay, busting the force away, so he's definitely racing pretty hard here. which tells me the Dreadmaw is going to be very beneficial for us. Alright, so he's leaving back what I can only presume to be a Harrier. That is a very good draw too. So 8 resources. I could Rite of the Serpent his morph, but it makes more sense to just replay our long shot squad and pass. Wish I had one more resource to cast the incremental growth or our Dreadmaw, but I think we're still in pretty good shape here. Once I incremental growth, I also have reach capability, so I think we're just going to pass this turn. Once again, we have the Dreadmaw for life gain if it really comes to that point. Because it does appear he wants to race us pretty vigorously here. Okay, leaving back, this is a pretty welcoming opportunity to cast incremental. Giving Death Touch and Reach, and at least forcing a block. He has 3 mana, which means he also cannot do Smite the Monstrous this turn. He does have Kill Shot mana, but I'm not going to play around that. So I think we're going to incremental. Put 1 here, 2 here, and 3 on our Skull Hunter. And this is going to let us attack very well. We'll have Reach and Death Touch. I'm definitely swinging for lethal here. I'm not going to be overly concerned about Kill Shot because well, I mean, Kill Shot would be bad, but I think it's still pretty unlikely we die on the backswing. If this is a Weapon Master, we take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's actually 1 short of lethal, unless, of course, he has like a Defiant Strike or another spell to cast. I still think presenting lethal damage is the correct move, despite him having Kill Shot mana up. Okay, so Feat of Resistance, which is a bit of an issue since it takes out our Skull Hunter, but we're still in okay shape. So he can crack back for a decent amount of damage, but we've got some good luxuries in our hand at the moment. We have both a Dreadmaw for life gain once again, and we have the Rite of the Serpent to take out this Wind Scout in a pinch. Okay. So I think now I only have 9 resources, so not quite enough to do everything that I want. But I think to start, we Rite of the Serpent his Wind Scout and just get that off the board. It gives us a token to block with as well. Okay, opponent decides to do Mystic, which is actually pretty good for us since now we're on the Dreadmaw plan. Does not have a follow-up play. Wouldn't mind a Sultai Flare, since that would give us some nice life gain options. Eesh. Polluted Delta, on the other hand, is not a good draw. So we'll play our Dreadmaw, which kind of puts us in a, well, I guess we don't play Dreadmaw first. First we swing with our Snake. Then we play a Dreadmaw and pass. Guess we can play a Polluted Delta. We're just not going to crack it. That way, so now we're going to sacrifice our Nightblade and hopefully find either something that can deal with that Mystic or could actually sacrifice the Snake. Guess I kind of like that more. Brings us to 1 life. But lets us do some, gives us a little bit of a room here. Raiders spoils, interesting. Um, Still not quite lethal. Guess we play the long shot squad. And I can't play Raider spoils and leave up Dreadmaw. So I guess we pass the turn. Oh wait, I can. Well, no, because I'd have to crack the Delta, so I guess I could do it if I sacrifice the Nightblade, but I don't really want to. Well, I guess at that point the damage is kind of irrelevant. But I want to be able to sacrifice both my guys in a pinch if I have to. So I guess we keep the spoils in hand for now. Okay. All right. Well, it was a close game. We almost won it. We are going to lose here, unfortunately. Best I can do is this attack, but if he doesn't block, we're just dead. Oh, he did block, but I guess we're still dead, unfortunately. But yeah, very close match. I loved our deck. I thought it played remarkably well. I do think we could have beat our opponent most of the time. I kept a very sketchy hand in retrospect. Well, not very sketchy. I kept a on the lowest threshold keep hand possible, which is never good. But our opponent did mulligan and beat us, so it just goes to show you what can happen with a 7-card mana heavy hand versus a 6-card hand that works out reasonably well. So lessons learned there. I'd still keep that hand, although not a very, like, once again, it was probably the lowest threshold keep that I should ever keep for a hand, since it was 6 resources and a 2-drop creature. I'll justify the keep again by saying it was a banner, so you can sacrifice the banner to draw a card, which basically means it's another card, but then again, you have to devote resources to do that. We could have drawn one of our 2 Armament Core on turn 4 after we play the banner, which would have been brutal. So there was enough upside to keeping that hand where I don't regret keeping it. But once again, the lowest possible threshold of keepable hands in Game 3, which was not ideal, obviously, since it ended up losing us the game. But still good matches. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you for the next one.